Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that will be linked with a January transfer move to the Arsenal. And we're going to start off with this guy today, Italian player Andrea Belotti. He's 23 years of age. He plays for Torino. That's the club where Joe Hart's currently playing for in goal. And he's had a fantastic season so far. He's scored 13 goals already this season in only 16 games. And if you're on that sort of goal scoring form, you're definitely going to start attracting all the top clubs across Europe. You're going to start, they're all going to start looking at you and thinking, hey, who's this guy? Arsenal are apparently very interested in him. There's also a couple of other teams. Man United, I've seen, has also been listed as a team that are very interested in Belotti. Torino have put a price tag on him of £51 million. I mean, the market is just so inflated at the moment, and that is yet more proof of it. And any player that scores a lot of goals is always going to have a high price tag. But Belotti, Arsenal apparently interested in him. Can't see this as being anything that would happen this January because, listen, as I've said already, striker-wise, we see him at the moment to be all right. We've got Welbeck coming back. Giroud's banging in the goals there, and then of course Alexis Sanchez has been excellent through the middle. I think that's his best position, and really and truly, if you've got him and Giroud battling it out for that position as it is, you got Welbeck there, you got Walcott who can play there. I really don't think that Arsenal would be putting £51 million out there to buy a player like this in January, unless, say, Sanchez was to move or Ozil was to move. And that's the next thing. I'm starting to get a bit concerned about this whole contract situation with Mesut Ozil and Alexis Sanchez. For me, I've been saying it already, those will be our biggest signings this January if we manage to secure these guys down to new deals. I don't know why Arsenal have enabled their deals to run down, so it's 18 months left. It's the same with Giroud. I don't get how we do our dealings. Why do we let these contracts run so close to the wire, which then gives all the power back to the players? Why don't we just secure them? I mean, you know, Mesut Ozil, you know, Alexis Sanchez, these are world-class players. If you want to keep these players long-term at your club, you've got to have them tied down on long-term contracts. And I just, the whole thing just seems a little bit of a mess at the moment. You know, you know, there's no other clubs right now, the top teams, talking about contracts for their best players. They're all tied down. I mean, the only club that seems to be talking and bartering about it is Arsenal. And Arsene Wenger was speaking to beIN Sports. He speaks to them a lot. And I don't know, man. I was a bit worried about some of these words that Arsene Wenger came out with. These are his quotes. He was asked about the contract situation with Ozil and Sanchez. And he said, "We can find an agreement, but you cannot put the club in jeopardy as well for the players. I think no matter what happens, we'll try and keep them and we'll go as high as we can. And if we cannot go any further, then we cannot go any further." That's basically it. That's the way that you have to manage a football club. Worrying words for me. Again, you never hear these quotes when it's Man United. You never hear these quotes when it's City. You never hear these quotes when it's Chelsea. You know, put the club in jeopardy. What, these two deals will honestly put Arsenal Football Club in jeopardy. And these are the things that many fans hate about Arsenal, dislike about the whole way it's run. Look at the size of Arsenal Football Club. Look at the fact that when we moved to this stadium, we were told that we'll be able to compete with clubs. We're going to be the English version of Bayern Munich. And we've got two world-class players who, yeah, quite rightly are demanding top dollar because you see the sort of money, you know, that's out there at the moment. Carlos Tevez is getting like 600 grand a week over there in China. I mean, that is ludicrous. But this is what you've got to compete with. You've got to compete with City, Chelsea, etc. And you're telling me for two players saying, oh, I want £220,000 a week, that's going to put Arsenal Football Club in jeopardy? Come on. I mean, honestly, Honestly, I really despair when I hear things like that. I mean, and then the other thing is, if it is going to put the club in jeopardy and the money's not there, then bring in somebody who will front the money. Usmanov, you know, is there. He wants to get involved with the club. He's one of the richest guys in the world. He's one of the richest guys, or is the richest guy in the UK. Why not put him in charge then if the money's such a problem? You know, I mean, I was reading today where Usmanov's company are going to be sponsoring Everton's training ground. Now, we know that the guy Moshiri, who took over running Everton, is a friend of Usmanov, a very good friend. Used to be on Arsenal, you know, with him at Arsenal. Got frustrated and now has bought Everton. Could it be that Usmanov's going to go to Everton as well? I mean, this is very interesting that Usmanov now is sponsoring their training ground. You know, we really need to sort this out. What sort of a message does it send to any other top player around the world if we don't hold down these two players? We must make sure that Ozil and Sanchez sign new deals. I mean, the rumour is that Sanchez is closer to signing than Ozil. And I know you'll probably have fans out there who'll say, oh, well, Ozil's lazy, let him go. Based off of the last few games, now, we let him go. We need Mesut Ozil. He's a world-class player. We need Sanchez. We need players like that. We need more players like that if we're going to win things. So how can we possibly contemplate these guys going? They must be sorted out onto new deals. A guy who's definitely signing for Arsenal is Cohen Bramall. It's a fantastic story. 20 years of age, plays for Huddersfield Town. He's definitely signing for Arsenal. Left back. I told him earlier on in the week about the story. He was at a trial at Arsenal. They're really impressed with him, and he's still in disbelief. He was even on Sky yesterday talking about how his family broke down in tears when they found out about the deal. He just cannot believe what is happening to him at the moment, and it's an amazing story. You know what makes me laugh, right, is that there's a lot of fans out there. I think I saw a tweet yesterday from Mems, who hosts our show Extra Time after games. Brilliant tweet he put out yesterday where he was talking about how fans have been saying, you know, about this guy, saying, who is he? Who? What kind of signings that Arsenal making? However, those same fans a few days ago saying, oh, why didn't Arsenal go and get somebody like a Dele Alli? Why have we not spotted somebody like that in the lower leagues in Milton Keynes and things like that? Very, very good tweet. I love that from Mems. So true. We don't know what this guy's going to turn out to be, but it's a fantastic opportunity for him, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him play. And also, I've got to say congratulations going out to Alex Iwobi. Alex Iwobi, again, one of our own, a product that's come through the system at Arsenal, named as the Young African Player of the Year. And I think that's absolutely outstanding. This guy's been brilliant. Alex Iwobi. I mean, I think we forget how good he's been for Arsenal. Only 20, remember. It's been absolutely awesome, his rise. Shows that Arsene Wenger had one good thing about him. He does give young players a chance. And this guy's absolutely flourished. And to be recognised in that way is really, really good. His uncle, JJ Okocha, will be proud of him. So well done to Alex Iwobi for winning that award. Let's get into some of your comments from yesterday. Aaron says, what about Moussa Dembele? He's saying, you know, we was talking about, you know, who out there do you reckon we should try and go and sign in this January transfer window? He says, what about Moussa Dembele, striker for Celtic? He's already scored 19 goals this season and he's 20. Also, what about Memphis Depay? No, sorry, not Depay. I'm not having Depay at the moment. Listen, I think Depay is a good player, but Moussa Dembele is an interesting one. I mean, even when he was at Fulham, there was a lot of surprise that nobody in the Premier League came in for him. He's gone up to Scotland. All right, we know it's Celtic playing in that league's basically, they're way, way, way better than everybody else. And, you know, the standard of football up there in Scotland isn't what it used to be. So it is a lot easier to score goals. But I've been impressed with this Dembele. He really, really does look a good player. And you never know, maybe it might be worth a punt on somebody as young as that, somebody for the future. De Villiers says, forget about fourth place. The only trophy for Wenger this season is keeping Alexis. That's not a bad shout. Trust me, that is not a bad shout. Jay says, we should we should have went for Lloris before he signed a new contract. For me, he's the best keeper in the league and would strengthen his partnership he already has with Koscielny, and they play for France. A left back, a right back in case of injuries, someone to replace Santi, Payet would suit, and then he says sell Ramsey and get a left winger that stays out wide and gets balls into the box. And Ishmael says, if Wenger leaves, Joachim Low in, he says, or Simeone. A lot of people talking about who should come in here, not just transfers for players, but who should come in, you know, for Arsene Wenger. Listen, loads of you guys making recommendations. Keep those coming into the comments. Really, really appreciate that. Thanks for watching the show today. Don't forget to check out our video that I did yesterday, the one where I'm talking about players, you know, thanking the fans. It's had a fantastic response. I really want to get your response on it, so get over there, jump in the comments of that. Something I feel very strongly on. But thanks for watching the show, and be back around about the same time tomorrow.